Right now, I'm confused and I would like some help from other people. I live in Leicester, lockdown city central, with the rest of the country. The rest of the world! No, the rest of the country is out of lockdown, but Leicester, we've been given an extra fortnight, which is turned into an extra 3 weeks, and we don't know when we're going to be out of lockdown, basically. That's where we're coming from. I don't know where I am on the map. Like, it looks like I will be released at this weekend. Like, because I live in Glenparva and Glenparva's just been taken out. But I also live in Esmonsal and Esmonsal is in, and I don't know which part, what the boundary is. And does it matter? Like, literally, for all I know, I could be let out of lockdown this weekend and walk over the road and be in the air of the people who are in lockdown. Where's the logic in that shit? I have to go past the people still in lockdown to get to the shop to buy things with the people who are in lockdown. The people who work there are in lockdown and I'm not, and I have to go into lockdown. It makes no sense. Anyways, this thing I needed to just talk about. My daughter bought it all with me earlier on. Apparently on this weekend, I'm just going to read the article and let's go after that. The relaxation of some lockdown restrictions in Leicester and Oadby and Wigston will mean that non-essential retail can open from Friday. Oadby and Wigston are still in there, and Leicester City Centre is still in there. They're in lockdown. I've been let out of lockdown. My mate in Wigston, oi Tracy, and my mate in Wigston has not been let out of lockdown. They've got no cases there, but they're in the lockdown. Right? I ain't making it up. Somebody else is making it up, not me. But it remains unclear who will actually be able to visit them, these shops that open at the weekend. Given advice to only travel for essential reasons remains in force within the lockdown zone. Actually, you're told on the radio that you can only leave your house to get a test, so when the local lockdown was introduced, shops in the city centre were ordered to close by the government as part of strict measures. I fucking hate the word measures. Fuck new normal, mate. New normal. It's like everybody's thinking that that's a pile of shit. Measures. That's what's getting to me. This lockdown, the word measures. Oh, we're introducing new measures. Oh, well, come in with your fucking measures. Let's all measure our measures. Sorry. I apologise. Strict measures brought in to try and drive the number of new cases in the city down. Well, I'll tell you what you could do. You could stop saying, we've tested this person positive and that's a new case. You know, when that person is asymptomatic, when they literally have had something that's caused inflammation on them and they've tested positive, why put them down as a COVID? And I'm saying again, there is no test for COVID, but that's a by-the-by thing. Since then, all cities' non-essential shops have been closed and footfall in the city centre has fallen by up to 55%. Well, of course it has. How are you going to have footfall in a city that's got nothing open that you can fucking put your feet in front? But confusion followed the government's announcement that Leicester and Oadby and Wigston would remain in lockdown, but non-essential retail would be able to reopen. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said when announcing the expected words ain't filming, extended lockdown decision from the 24th of July will be removing the restrictions on schools and early years childcare, even though they're all off for the summer holiday. And taking a more targeted approach to the restrictions on non-essential retail, replacing the national decision to close non-essential retail with a local power to close them where necessary, because they're words. This is all part of our more targeted approach, because if they do it in a targeted approach, they don't have to. If they do it like as a one, they have to explain what it means. If they do it just, it's just there. There's only Leicester going to argue. By the time Leicester has stopped arguing, we've got Sunderland in there. And by the time Sunderland stopped arguing, we're on to Liverpool. Do you know what I'm saying? Other respect, readers have been contacting Leicestershire Live, which is the new name for the Leicester Mercury, for some reason, and asking for the position to be clarified, given that existing restrictions on travel, which mean that travel into, out of, and within Leicester must be for essential reasons only, will remain in place until August the 1st. Leicestershire Live has asked the Department of Health and Social Care to clear up any confusion and specifically asked the department if shops reopen on July the 24th, who would actually be permitted to go to them. A spokesperson for the department replied and said, the guidance remains to stay at home as far as possible to help further bring down the high infection rates in Leicester. As the situation has improved, some non-essential retailers are allowed to choose to open for business, subject to targeted measures and COVID-secure guidance. Our guidance means people should not travel solely for non-essential shopping. The guidance suggests that taking a shopping trip into town for non-essential items is not permitted. But if someone is in the city centre having travelled there for essential reasons, they would be permitted to go into non-essential retailers. Leicestershire Live has gone back to the DHSC and again asked for clarity, but you won't get clarity. But to all of my friends that live in Leicester, what you have to do is you need to go up to town this weekend and go into Boots and buy yourself a packet of paracetamol and get a receipt. And then everywhere else you go, you're allowed to go. Leicester is out of lockdown. Leicester City Centre, they told us, is the part. This weekend, I come out of lockdown because I'm on like the red line. I was on the red line from the beginning and I go just the other side of the red line. I was on the red line, I go just the other side of the red line. So I'm there. They could technically say, no, I'm sorry, but you're not on the red line. But at the end of the day, I see no police where I live. No, I've not seen a police person, a military person this entire time. We are not being policed about this. Go where you want to go, do what you want to do. And this weekend, despite the whole of Leicester, despite Leicester City Centre still being in lockdown, non-essential shops are going to be open. How are they going to police it if we go into town? And why? Why? How could they not? If to everybody who lives in Leicester with me, go to town. Like, once after this weekend, don't listen to them when they say you've got to be locked up in your home. Because there are people who live in your vicinity who aren't allowed to be locked down in their home because they are back in Leicester City Centre in non-essential shops. Not essential. They're not essential workers. They're non-essential workers and they are allowed. And they are you and me. Not me, obviously. I'm a spag, but they are us. everyday people in all of the places in Leicester that have been told that they've got to be locked down, those people have got to come out to work in a non-essential shop. There is absolutely zero logic to Leicester still being in lockdown after this weekend. Like, literally, you walk out of your house, just say like, oh, I work in a non-essential shop in town. Who's going to ask you in the first place? Like, nobody's going to ask you, why are we still... Do not put yourself in your house because of words that have come out of these people's mouths. Because as this is proved, the words that come out of their mouth don't make any fucking sense. And you, my darling, are worth more than that.